Hello, hello. Welcome to Thriving Thursday, where I give you some tips that you can implement in your life right now that will help you live a life where you thrive, where you feel joy and happiness and accomplishment on a regular basis. One thing I wanted to share today is from this book, The Like Switch. And I actually just bought this. It's brand new. It's not even really been open, but I have it on Audible. I listened to it a whole bunch of times, and I referenced this as one of my favorite books at the end of the book that I wrote. And the reason why I love it so much, okay, so the like switch, Jack Schaefer, PhD, he was an FBI agent, and the thing I use is most frequently is called the friendship formula. And the friendship formula is basically the science behind how people in the government, FBI, CIA, whatever, how they can lure informal or informants, and how they create relationships with people that, how do you get somebody to trade secrets for their government, right? And so that's kind of a powerful thing to think about. And it's not that those people are so bad necessarily or so angry with the government. It's actually based on the friendship formula. And that is proximity. So you're near people, the duration of your time, the intensity of the time. And I always forget, there's 4 of them, and I always forget one of them. Should have written them down, but intensity, duration, frequency, proximity. There we go. Intensity, duration, proximity, and whatever the other one I said. Anyway, the reason that I love this book so much, okay, the like switch. So I use that formula, and we talk about with our women's group because it's such a powerful formula, and it works in a manner that you can help other people know you, like you, and trust you. So the power of this book, I've listened to it a whole bunch of times, is that I learned why there were certain things in my life, starting from childhood, that just didn't feel right. They just didn't feel right. And I see that now. I would listen to it and I thought, oh, that's why I always felt weird or off. And in a lot of my situation, there was a parental relationship that caused me some distress, and I could see and recognize that a lot of the stuff wasn't intentional. It was just facial expressions or nonverbal body language and that sort of thing that came from a place of maybe insecurity or trauma or pain or whatever, wherever it comes from. So use that in your everyday interactions, right? Okay. So this helped me to understand that, oh, when that happened and I internalized it to mean this, that's totally normal. It's totally normal that I internalized it that way, even though that isn't how it was intended. And then I could also see things. So growing up with modeling that maybe wasn't the most effective, I was trying to learn how to be somebody different, somebody that people really liked and trusted, and this leader and influencer in the community, right? In my life, I wanted to be somebody that made an impact on the world. But I had modeling that wasn't helpful to be that person. I had to unlearn the things that were modeled for me, and I had to relearn useful skills. Well, how do you do that? And so this book actually was a big part of that. And there were things that happened in my life that when I listened to it, I thought, oh, that's why that moment was so strange and awkward. So instead of attributing it to me as I'm a bad person, or I did this wrong, or I'm a failure, or I screwed this up again, I could see where that behavior choice or that option that I took, the way that I interacted, was misinterpreted. And so now it makes sense. Makes sense that they responded that way. And all I have to do is change the way I show up in the world, right? In the way that I choose to behave. And what I learned as a child or as a young adult is not helping me. So how do I adjust that? So anyways, take a look at this one. If you use Audible, I love Audible because I can walk, I get to be at the gym, whatever. I can listen to stuff over and over again. And you might find some unbelievable things in this book that you just something so simple that you could tweak just in an instant, and it would totally change your life. And that's what happened to me. So I wish you all the best. Go live your life of abundance.